Hi, it's Ren's Guide to Anime. Today I'm here with a recap of a Chinese anime called The Last Summoner. So sit back and enjoy till the end. In a world where certain individuals can summon elements like soil, the dead, and even stars, there are people known as summoners. In a specific city, there is an ordinary student named Ajay. He may not seem remarkable at first, but he is actually the owner of the most powerful spirit in existence. Ajay doesn't care much about grades or relationships, except for one thing: he's a cooking maniac. While cooking ramen one day, a sudden blue light appeared, revealing a girl with pink hair. In an instant, she transformed into a chibi version and eagerly devoured the ramen without hesitation. Introducing herself as Dora, a spirit, she was promptly kicked out by Ajay. However, she returned through the wall, becoming a constant nuisance in his peaceful life. Throughout the day, Dora caused trouble and disrupted his routine. Although spirits typically form contracts with humans, Ajay had no intention of making a contract with this annoying spirit. But Dora, being cunning despite her chibi form, used her alluring complete form to deceive him into making a contract. Before he knew it, he had fallen for Dora's trick and was now unable to get rid of her. As a reward, Dora granted Ajay the ability to fly using her spirit wings. However, their flight was short-lived as they crashed down due to Dora's hunger and lack of energy. Speaking of Dora, she is actually a mighty goddess who had been sealed away for thousands of years. Unfortunately, her memories have been lost, even her powers are weak, only surfacing as sporadic visions in her dreams. On a peaceful day, Ajay and Dora were relaxing when they were interrupted by a plant-like creature. It captured Dora and swallowed her whole while Ajay was momentarily distracted. Realizing what had happened, Ajay chased after the creature, desperate to rescue Dora. Despite his efforts, he lost track of the creature and searched frantically. Eventually, he spotted the creature disguised as a man in a crowd. It turns out that a spirit's powers grow stronger when their master is nearby. Taking advantage of this, Dora freed herself from the creature as Ajay approached. Beside the creature stood a girl named Hannah, who was also a summoner. She hailed from a wealthy family and specialized in summoning plant-type creatures. Her grandfather had tasked her with testing Ajay and his spirit's abilities. Surprisingly, Hannah visited Ajay's school while grabbing everyone's attention with her beauty. Approaching Ajay, Hannah handed him a letter, mentioning that she would be waiting for him in the woods. At first glance, it seemed like a typical love confession scenario, but the truth was quite different in this story. When they met Hannah after school, it became evident as he was immediately attacked by a rose. Without giving him a moment's respite, they continued their relentless assault, while Dora searched for her sacred weapon, the cleavers. Hannah even summoned a colossal tree monster that could crush them in an instant. Just in time, she found the cleaver and slashed the tree monster's arm. However, Hannah wasn't using her full strength. The tree monster retaliated with all its might. Thankfully, Ajay grabbed the cleaver and equipped his sacred boots, using his wings to attack from above. He unleashed a powerful strike, piercing through the tree monster. After defeating the monster, Dora attempted to attack Hannah, but Ajay intervened, pointing out that she had been holding back all along. More tree monsters lurked behind them. Later that night, they gathered at Ajay's place for dinner, where Dora praised his exceptional cooking skills. They got to taste his delicious food firsthand. It turned out that the earlier fight was a test to determine Ajay's suitability for their team. Then the story introduces a Nico girl named Miaowu who pleaded with her brother, not to leave, but he transformed into a flock of ravens and flew away. Miaowu felt frustrated and angry, so she gathered a group of animals and attacked the nearest city, including Ajay's school. Suddenly, Ajay appeared and pulled Miaowu aside, thinking she was being attacked. A stray cat approached, and Ajay tried to remove it, but it scratched his face. Meanwhile, Hannah and her spirit arrived at the scene. They fought relentlessly, with Miaowu transforming into different animals and using their abilities to attack the tree monster. Ajay noticed that when the summoned spirit was injured, the summoner also suffered damage. However, despite all the fighting, Miaowu remained unharmed. Upon looking around, Ajay noticed that the cat had scratches all over its body. Realizing the situation, Ajay intervened in the fight between Dora and Miaowu. He used soul shackles to restrain them both and explained the importance of communication before resorting to violence. They discovered that the kitten was the actual summoner, while Miaowu was just a summoned spirit. The next day, they were approached by some people in suits who forcefully brought them to Hannah's mansion. The reception from Hannah and her spirit was cold. The mansion was filled with ghouls who performed household tasks. They were then introduced to Hannah's grandfather, Harlan, a powerful summoner with a divine presence. He revealed the secrets and history of summoners. There's a crystal that holds the power of all spirits, and human summoners have been fighting over it for centuries. They're divided into two groups, the Watchers, who protect the world's balance, and the Destroyers, who do the opposite. While they were having dinner, they were suddenly attacked by a group of summoners from the Destroyers faction. Harlan fought against the intruders and urged Ajay and the others to leave. Before they escaped, he made Hannah promise to keep Ajay safe. However, as they were fleeing, they were confronted by another spirit user named Yan Chang, who had guns. Miao Wu noticed her brother among them, but he mercilessly attacked her. When Ajay tried to retaliate, he was ensnared in an illusion cast by another summoner named Men Yang. Hannah's grandpa initially seemed to be winning the fight, but when Hannah was attacked with Himiko's blade, he got distracted while trying to heal her. The Destroyers took advantage of this moment and attacked him simultaneously, causing severe injuries. However, his spirit power went out of control and transformed into a monster. Another summoner named Huanxin, who possessed Shinigami powers, arrived and attacked him. They eventually managed to extract his spirit stone and crushed it, putting an end to Harlan. After accomplishing their goal, they left without harming Ajay and the others, believing they could be useful in the future. Back at Ajay's place, they discussed their next steps. A video of the fight had been posted online, so they decided to track down the person behind it for information about the Destroyers. This person was a girl named Stan, who was both a tech genius and a manga artist. Despite not being a summoner or having any special abilities, she was incredibly intelligent. When Ajay's group approached Stan while in disguise, she immediately recognized them through her surveillance cameras. However, they didn't have time for small talk because they were suddenly attacked by robots. Fortunately, they were able to get into Stan's car, but the robots continued to pursue them in the air and fired shots. They even caused an explosion on the bridge ahead, causing them to fall. Luckily, Dora was able to catch everyone before they hit the ground. While on the ground, Stan transformed his truck into a giant robot and took care of the robots. Later, they planned their next steps at Stan's hideout and realized that Stan was actually a guy disguised as a girl. They began analyzing the fight scene and all the evidence they had gathered. During their investigation, they discovered a secret chamber in Hannah's mansion that used to house spirit stones. Unfortunately, all of the stones had been stolen by the Destroyers. Using the data they had collected, they were able to determine the last known location of a destroyer. However, when they arrived at the location, there was no one there. Instead, they found the area filled with red spider lilies. Then, a man who looked like a farmer emerged from a hut in the middle of the field. He appeared ordinary at first, but his demeanor quickly changed. When the wind blew away his flowers, his anger flared up, and he transformed into one of the destroyers known as Mordu. Once transformed, he launched an attack against them. Even Dora's shield couldn't withstand his onslaught. Despite Miaowu's attempts to strike him, they couldn't leave a mark on his thick skin. Even Dora's cleavers proved ineffective. Since conventional weapons were useless, Ajay and Dora prepared a powerful attack while Miaowu kept Mordu engaged. However, she was caught and slammed to the ground. Nevertheless, Ajay's attack was primed. Drawing upon Dora's memories and weapons, his instincts kicked in, and he relentlessly pressed his assault. His strikes shattered Mordu's defenses. After enduring a severe beating and being pierced in the core of his chest, Mordu reverted back to his human form. However, he began to share his past and revealed that an evil spirit had possessed him since he was born. His mother passed away while giving birth to him, and his father tragically took his own life. The villagers, believing him to be cursed, decided to chain him up on a mountain, leaving him to die. One day, a young girl approached him and became his friend. She visited him regularly over the years, and gradually, he developed deep feelings for her. However, when the villagers discovered Mordu's presence, they accused him of being responsible for all the misfortunes that had befallen them. As they launched their attack, the girl bravely stood between them, but tragically, she lost her life. This event triggered an uncontrollable rage within Mordu, leading him to unleash his fury upon everyone around him, resulting in multiple casualties. Eventually, the destroyers found him and used chains to seal away the malevolent spirit. In the midst of the devastating aftermath, thousands of spider lilies sprouted above the countless lifeless bodies. But now, the seal has been broken, causing him to transform back into the monstrous creature he once was. Ajay and the others attempted to mount an attack, but it proved to be futile. The creature possessed tremendous strength and impenetrable defenses, rendering their efforts ineffective. Miaowu and Stan fell down soon after. Ajay used Dora's full power and attacked the monster. However, the monster easily crushed his attack and counterattacked, leaving Ajay unconscious. As he regained consciousness, he found himself in a vision where he saw a spirit crystal being bound by chains. He watched as the chains were dissolved one by one. Suddenly, Dora transformed into her ultimate form, appearing as the spirit goddess she once before. She summoned a rain of swords that rained down upon the monster. Then, she summoned a colossal sword and shattered the monster into countless fragments. With the battle over, they began making their way back. However, while on their journey, Stan's device detected an enemy alert. Before they could react, a girl emerged from a void and sliced their vehicle in two. They were then bombarded with fire attacks by another destroyer. In the midst of the chaos, the gunslinger girl appeared behind Stan and Miaowu, swiftly ending their lives with a single shot to their heads. Finally, they turned their attention to Ajay, slashing him into pieces. As Ajay's life came to an end, he could only feel his head falling, while Dora screamed in anguish. To his surprise, Ajay suddenly found himself in a strange space. A voice explained that it was the gap between time and space. It turned out to be Ajay's dad who was speaking to him. His dad gave him 3 minutes of time prior to the incident, allowing him to change things. As the voice instructed, Ajay woke up 3 minutes before the incident occurred. He quickly warned everyone about the impending danger. Meanwhile, the destroyers attacked the empty vehicle again and fell into the trap set by Stan, resulting in a bomb explosion. While Ajay and the others safely traveled in another van, their next plan was to reach Hannah before anyone else. Hannah was recovering at Ajay's house, but when they arrived, she had already left a letter instructing them to meet her at the Demon Furnace. The Demon Furnace was a place similar to a college for summoners. Summoners from all over the world gathered there to face trials, and those who passed them graduated as full-fledged summoners. Getting to the Demon Furnace wasn't easy, even with the borrowed airship. They had to navigate through the treacherous Sea of Death, which posed great difficulties. After enduring multiple thunderstorms, they finally emerged from the clouds. However, their joy was short-lived as they were suddenly attacked by a destroyer wielding a shadow blade. The attack damaged their vehicle, causing them to plummet. Luckily, Stan transformed the vehicle into a robot and caught everyone before they hit the ground. But their troubles weren't over yet. Young descended upon them, firing shots, while he transformed into fiery ravens and launched an assault. The damage inflicted on the robot was extensive, and it began to crash. Stan skillfully managed to land them on an island. However, their respite was brief, as the entire gang of destroyers started closing in on them. Just as the destroyers were about to attack Ajay and the others, a bunny girl intervened. In the Demon Furnace, fighting is strictly prohibited, whether by destroyers or watchers. It's an agreement between both sides. If anyone violates this agreement, all the summoners from both factions will unite to pursue them. They encountered Li Chada, another summoner who was also participating in the trials. He offered them a ride and took the opportunity to explain more about the Demon Furnace. However, upon arriving at the entrance, they realized there was a cost involved. The registration fee amounted to 2 million per person. Despite the expense, Stan paid his share and proceeded, while Dora found an alternative entrance specifically for beautiful girls, allowing her to enter for free. She insisted on bringing Ajay along, referring to him as her master. Miaowu, on the other hand, entered through the door where players proved their strength. Inside the Demon Furnace, there were a total of 100 floors with checkpoints every 10 floors. This meant that if they failed, they could restart from the previous checkpoint. Bunny Girl guided them to the first floor, which appeared to be a luxurious hotel for contestants to unwind. However, unbeknownst to them, the trials had already commenced. After taking a bath, Ajay and the others headed to their rooms to rest. Suddenly, the walls transformed into spikes and began closing in from both sides. They attempted to break the lock, but even Dora's soul weapons proved ineffective against the spikes. Fortunately, they narrowly escaped using another soul weapon called the skeleton key. They quickly rushed to check on the other two. Miao Wu managed to flee by transforming into a giant cockroach. Many other players also found their own ways to escape. However, when they reached Stan's room, they discovered blood seeping out from under the door. They feared he had fallen into the trap and been crushed. To their immense relief, he unexpectedly emerged from a vent above, alleviating their concerns. But that was just the beginning. The entire hotel transformed into an escape room filled with deadly traps. The only way to pass this floor was to escape the hotel alive. Contestants faced various traps and explosives that were triggered against them. Some were even dropped into a massive pool of lava below. Ajay and Dora managed to save a few of them. After navigating through numerous obstacles, they finally reached the boss room. Some surviving contestants who were furious about the difficulties attacked the boss, but they were swiftly defeated before even reaching him. Then, they were faced with the challenge of opening treasure chests. Unfortunately, one of the chests contained explosives, causing it to explode and sending them down to the next floor. They were greeted by Bunny Girl, who was the boss on the second floor. She reassured them that the test would be fair from this point onward. This phase of the test involved a 20-lap race, and only the top 15 contestants would be selected. Once the race began, Miao Wu quickly took the lead with her cheetah-like speed, closely followed by another summoner who controlled animals. Ajay and Dora held the third position, soaring above the track. Many contestants employed various tricks to gain an advantage in the race. However, to their surprise, a ballistic missile appeared on the track, ridden by Stan, propelling him effortlessly into first place. Despite the promise of fairness, Ajay had a sense that something was amiss. His intuition proved correct when some contestants started attacking one another. Even Ajay and Dora found themselves being pursued by bullets. Nevertheless, they skillfully redirected the bullets back to their attackers. Miao Wu and the animal summoner used wind magic to deal with the poison master. Additionally, a knight on the track started slashing at others, even overpowering Stan's missile. Luckily, Hiro, a popular manga artist and transformation summoner, intervened and engaged in a fierce battle with the knight. Using a giant brush, Hiro sliced the Black Knight into multiple pieces. Bunny Girl then announced that with only 15 contestants remaining, they simply needed to finish the race. Miao Wu claimed first place, while Ajay and Doris secured second place. Hiro took the third position. The next few floors were comparatively easier, featuring a cooking competition and a karaoke competition. Meanwhile, Huanqin, the leader of the destroyers, is attempting to awaken an evil spirit to use against Ajay. They meet up with the girls in their group and suggest that they should also participate in the Demon Furnace trials, as they are eager to confront Ajay. However, they must go with the newly awakened spirit. Back in the Demon Furnace, the elders and the Bunny Girl are having a meeting to discuss the progress of the trials. However, the true intention behind these trials is completely different. The contestants have no idea that the trials are actually collecting spiritual energy from them. On the 100th floor, there is a goddess named Pandora who is sealed with soul shackles. She is the source of all spirits, and the spiritual energy collected from the Demon Furnace will be offered to her. Well, that's a story for another time.